You might think that minimalism means ditching the materialistic life altogether. But for me, it was more important to redirect my resources towards the things that I truly value in life. Because let's be honest, money can enhance certain aspects of our lives and provide us with opportunities. My dream is to slow travel in certain regions of the world. I want to buy a plot of land and build a dream house with my husband. And I want to work on a cool project that can somehow give back to the community. These goals are meaningful to me because they align with my values, and they fulfill me in a different way than buying clothes or a luxury lifestyle ever could. But still, I know it requires money. I believe that the simplest joys and the deeper meanings in life cannot be bought. But having financial flexibility allows us to build the life that we want. So my goal was to find a way to somehow combine the two. And I feel like minimalism has helped me find that way. There are so many things that can distract us from our goals, and I feel like if we're not intentional, it's really easy to fall into these traps. I've talked about how much money I spent on clothes that I never wore and taking these meaningless trips and outings that I really didn't care about because I thought that as long as my bills were getting paid, I was free to spend my money on whatever I wanted. But over the years, I really did turn things around. It took a lot of reflecting on what matters to me, what sparks my curiosity and my passion, and what brings me genuine joy. And now I keep my lifestyle pretty low maintenance so that I can prioritize those things. I love talking about this topic, so I'm splitting the video into 2 different videos. Today, I want to talk about the expenses that I cut out from my life that made the most impact on my finances. And next video, I'll talk about how I redirected it to invest in my dream life. The very first thing that comes to mind is keeping lifestyle inflation under control. When our income goes up, I feel like it's only natural to think that we can afford to spend more or we deserve something nice because we work so hard for it. But this really conditions us to think that if our income goes up, we can buy more things that will make us happier. So we continuously upgrade our lives and seek happiness from external sources, but when does that cycle end? I found that so many of these life upgrades were just not worth it, especially when I think about how that expense could have gone towards my other goals. No matter how fancy the restaurant, I honestly still prefer pizza nights at home. No matter how cool or expensive the gym membership is, I still prefer doing it at home at my own schedule. No matter how expensive that piece of clothing is, it's not that much more different than the ones hanging in my closet already. If we just slow down and reflect on these new expenses, I think we would figure out that spending more doesn't always mean that we will be happier. I think it's so important for all of us to figure out what is our baseline happiness and how much does that cost. Maybe you love getting your groceries delivered or you love getting takeout. So include that in the budget. But having this rough idea will really help us to be more intentional in our spendings, and it will keep our lifestyle inflation under control. Having access to the city has been really cool if you are interested in culinary or sports or theater, the arts. It's all there, and it seems like there's always something happening on the weekend. But surprisingly, my lifestyle hasn't changed that much. Maybe because I'm in my 30s, but I just don't feel the need to spend hundreds of dollars just to go out for the sake of going out. This wasn't always the case. I used to live in a really cool neighborhood in San Diego, and if it was a Friday night or the weekend, I always felt like I had to do something. I spent a lot of money just trying to fill my time and distract myself, and I feel like even then, I kind of knew that these outings felt very empty. There's so much pressure to be always doing something, booking the next holiday, planning for the next big thing, but are we really getting value from this, or are we just trying to distract ourselves? I don't mind spending money if there's something that I really want to do, but I want these moments to be special, not just a thing I do every weekend. I know this might sound crazy, but I actually have a lot more fun organizing my closet, for example. I love watching those 4K walking tours of a place that I've never been. Something that I love doing on Friday night is taking my dogs for a really long walk. And society might think that this is not fun, but to me it is. And it just feels like I am not pretending anymore, I'm not distracting myself, but instead I'm loving my life, and that is all that matters. My first car was a 97 Dodge pickup truck, and that thing had so many problems, but it got me and my friends around town, and that's really all that mattered. And honestly, my mindset really hasn't changed that much. As long as my car gets me from point A to point B, then I'm very happy. I really don't care what size or color or brand my car is. In a society that places so much value on the things that we have, I think it's only normal to want to flaunt our status and who we are on the outside. Some people spend their whole lives working towards creating this picture-perfect life. And I always wondered how much of that was for them and how much of it was for everyone else to judge. Think about it. If you were stranded on an island with no one else around, would you really care about what kind of car you drove, what brand of clothing you wore, what school you graduated from? If material things bring you value and joy, that's fair. Who am I to judge? But I think it's worth looking at our spending habits and kind of questioning ourselves to see if we are spending our money towards a life that we truly value. When I started decluttering, I noticed the pattern in the things that I was getting rid of. I would say 90% of the stuff were things I bought on impulse. Souvenirs that I bought when I was abroad, tech stuff that went on sale on Black Friday, and even snacks and treats that I bought as I was passing through the aisle at a grocery store. I think impulse purchases are often overlooked because it's usually not a big splurge, but they do add up over time, and it was actually a really big reason why I couldn't save up for the bigger things in life. I always talk about setting up a barrier between you and the purchase so that there's a delayed gratification. But I do think the more important thing is to set up a financial goal for yourself. It's really easy to get swayed and influenced when you don't have a clear idea of what you want in your life. But when you have a clear idea of where you're going, I feel like everything else feels like a distraction. So what are your short-term and long-term goals? Are you prioritizing financial security, freedom, experiences, personal growth, or maybe supporting your family? And why is this goal important to you? In my YouTube journey, I have contemplated on maybe hiring an editor or a videographer who can help me film, because I wanted to make more videos. Sometimes delegating your work to others or hiring a team is really helpful, and it might be necessary. But I thought about why I started YouTube in the first place. And I really wanted to do this because I love creating videos from start to finish. I actually really enjoy wearing different hats, even the hours and hours of editing, and I really value the lessons that I learn along the way. So hiring a team, gaining more responsibility to grow my profit and expanding this channel, it just didn't interest me. A lot of us grow up in a society where more is better. So we feel the pressure to scale up that business, move into the bigger house, and grow our social media, and say yes to all the opportunities. But are we willing to deal with the challenges and complexities that come with that as well? And when is it okay to say, that's enough for me? I'm definitely not saying that more isn't better. Sometimes it is. I have an immense amount of respect for people who are able to grow their business and be able to do it with integrity and balance everything. I think that can be done, and it's amazing when it works. But like with anything, I think mindfulness is key. Scaling up and expanding is really not the only way that we can grow. As cheesy as it sounds, I think the biggest thing I learned from simplifying my life is that we have to appreciate what we have now. Because if we don't, we won't appreciate the next thing that comes our way. But if we're truly grateful for everything that we have, we don't need anything else. And that is true abundance. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care until next time.